Okay, so this is Justin Piantadosi. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is going over the mushroom fields here, the attraction mode and the regular gameplay mode, the scoring, and the wave control. So I'll go ahead and do the rundown of it real quick first. So this is the attraction mode with everything showing up here. Okay. So as you can see, everything's working up here. I'm gonna go and kill myself again. Cool. So as you can see, it was going back and forth between the attractor mode and the player mode there. With all that stuff working. So I'm going to go through these files and showcase what they were just doing there. So the mushroom, the wave manager, game manager, score manager, and the mode manager. So I'll start off the mush grid here. So the first thing is just kind of the destructor, getting rid of the whole wave here. Checking if a position is full or not function. Random is actually for creating the whole grid here. Spawning at a specific position is used either for testing purposes, or the flea uses this to spawn the mushrooms. Rebuilding mushroom grid is for switching back and forth between the attractor mode and the player mode. So it deletes the previous grid, builds a new one. I was tooling around with deleting mushrooms inside of the text box area during the attractor mode, but I was just running into some problems, so that ended up not making it in. So that's that for now. And then regen grid is for regenerating the mushrooms when the player dies. That stuff's all in. This doesn't create them one by one. It creates them all at the same time. That's just I considered it further down on the to-do list of things I had to do with the amount of time I had to work with. So it still functionally does the same thing. It's just not quite as pretty. So I was just working on other things like the text writing and reading and all that fun stuff to get this in. So that's that. Next is the Wave Manager, which was the Singleton class. Wave Manager contains all of the data that's used by pretty much the critters. So it has a parse score file, which parses, score file, which is the high score. It contains all the high scores, all 10 of those. So that's these here. It reads them in and sets them. Next I have the parse the text file, which reads through this file here, reads through all of these variables and sets the value. I'm able to move these around like here if I wanted, and it'll still pick this up so long as I have the variable with the value right underneath it. That'll still work. Let's see that, yeah, so this is just reading these variables here. Let's see so it's getters and setters here. This is also the write back to score file. So when the player dies or the game shuts down, it writes the high scores back into the score file. So it sets, or sorry, it gets the high scores, and then it reads them. Or, I'm sorry, it writes them to the file. And the only way to do that is if you actually overcome the old high score. It will push all the other ones down and then add the one to the top. So that's that. Next up was the levels. So level 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up to 5 for right now. It creates a longer centipede. It'll go a tiny bit faster. And that's pretty much all this does here. This is sorting the wave manager. We have getters, setters here, lots of those. I'm pretty sure that's all there is. Yeah, that's that for the wave manager. Also, I should bring up the wave manager was a singleton class, so there's only ever one of it. Here's the two parse text file, parse the score file, and it gets those here in the when you're creating the first instance of the wave manager. So these are only happening once. These are all the variables that it's got. Yeah, we talked about the rest. So there's that. Next up was the game manager. So the game manager is responsible for when critters are spawning. So there's one for the flea, one for the centipede, the spider, the scorpion. And then in the update, what's happening is the spider, the scorpion, and then the counters are going up. Other than that, let's see, it was just one getter here. So that's all that's really going on there. For the score manager, I don't believe, yeah. So in the score manager, my mistake, was it a singleton? Oh, it was a single. Okay, so the score manager is another instance of a singleton. So these are all of the values that it's got for killing one of the critters, including the spider with its different positions. Here in the CPP, it's got functions for destroying the head, the flea, the mushroom, the spider at its different height locations, and its different values for each one of those. And then each one of these are also updating the text. So the text isn't updating every frame, it's just updating when these things get called. And then on the bottom here we have getters and setters. So that's that. The mode manager is responsible for going back and forth between the attractor mode and the AI mode. So there's just some general get and setters here. So the game starts out in attractor mode, obviously, with all the things set up for that, and then pressing the 1 key will set it to the keyboard player mode. So that's what all these things are doing. It's contacting the wave manager, the score manager, the sound manager, and setting all those things properly. Also the rebuilding the mushroom grid, getting the AI pointer. So that's all of these things here. And then there's also a go back to attractor mode on death. So this is called when the player dies. Well, I should say when the player loses all 3 of his lives and it's game over. That's when this gets called. And it basically just does the opposite of what this does. Contacts the sound manager, the wave manager, score manager, and sets all of these things up here. Also creates a new centipede and deletes the old one. So that's that. Cool. Thank you for watching video 2.